What's going on, guys? It's Gren, and today we're going to be deck profiling my Gren maju eiza deck. We're going to start off with the extra deck because it is just so you can see it, it's just 15 random cards. These are just random commons and rares from recent sets. It really doesn't matter what extra deck you use, but you do need one for Eater of Millions. If you wanted to make this deck a little bit more competitive, you could play Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries and play some actual viable targets. But we're not. This isn't a competitive deck at all. This is a fun deck, and of course, like I said, it's Gren maju eiza. So for those of you who don't know what this does, this card gains 400 attack and defense for every card you control that is banished. So this in Desires instantly is a 4k beater. As well as this is the Inferno Tempest build of this deck, but we'll get onto that when it comes to this. 3 Eater of Millions, this lets you banish stuff from your extra deck. Like I said, you don't use anything in here of value. There is some stuff you could use, but there's just no point. This would let you potentially banish 15, again making Gren maju eiza 6k alone off this. It's absolutely fantastic. It's also not once per turn, so if you open up multiple of these, you can banish 5 and then banish 10. So yeah, and when it attacks, you get to banish the card that it attacks, so that's great. And then double Necroface, when this card is banished, you banish the top 5 cards of your deck, and your opponent banishes the top 5 cards of their deck. Again, this gets 10 cards banished for other things like Soul Absorption and DD Dynamite. It's also an Alot of Darkness target. And then 3 Lava Golem, this is here for the Inferno Tempest play. It also on 3k attack. Your opponent also will take 1,000 on the standby phase, but mostly it's there because it's a 3k attack that tributes over 2 monsters your opponent controls and can trigger the Inferno Tempest play. And then the best card to trigger the Inferno Tempest play is this here. This is Gren Golem. The reason this is the best one is, again, it has 3k attack, but it actually gives you 2 tokens with 0. So it's basically a 1 card setup for your Inferno Tempest. Onto the hand traps as such. Triple Battle Fader, this is the best one. It has 0 attack and it special summons itself. It's important it has 0 attack because, again, it triggers your Inferno Tempest play if your opponent has a 3k beat stick on the board. So Blue Eyes, Gren Golem, Lava Golem, all of those. This is the best one, so you've got to play 3 of these. And then I'm currently playing 2 Karibo. Most people don't play this, but it's an Alot of Darkness target and it does help with consistency. And 2 Scarecrow. Again, it's like Battle Fader but worse. It goes to the graveyard instead of summoning itself, so that's a little unfortunate, but it's still better than not having the out and taking stupid damage. You don't, in my opinion, need to run too many battle traps because you play Soul Absorption in this build. Oops. So yeah, Triple Pot of Desires, this banishes 10. This card alone creates so many things. This gets your eiza to 4k, and if you have Soul Absorption on the board, it will give you 5k life points. I have actually resolved all 3 of these in one turn with Desires. That was pretty much my opening hand. It was absolutely garbage. I think it was Battle Fader, 3 Soul Absorption and a Desires, so I ended up gaining like 15,000 attack, and I had the Battle Fader still. It's just very fun. You manage a lot of stuff in this deck, so why would you not play these, in my opinion? 2 Duality, you don't do any special summoning really, except for the Gren Golem, Lava Golem, and Eater of Millions. But you can live without them. They all require some setup bar Eater of Millions, so it's better to dig through your deck and get your Inferno Tempests and everything faster. So 3 Duality, sorry. Triple Alot of Darkness. Consistency is a lot in this deck. We do play a lot of draw cards. Drawing 2 and then banish 1 of your darks. Banish your Necroface, you can get the effect off of that. Banish a dead Eater of Millions. Banish a Karibo, anything, it's great. You do actually have quite a lot of dark targets in this, and then it's 39 cards, so upstart. Doesn't matter, you're giving your opponent 1,000 because you're going to be burning them for a lot more. And attacking with them with a lot more with Gren maju. And then we have 6 more spells, so Triple Gold Sark. This will let you banish your combo pieces to make sure you get them and you don't Desires them. But most importantly, you can use this to banish Necroface and trigger its effect to banish 10. And the last card is Triple Inferno Tempest. So for those of you who don't know what this does, when you take 3,000 or more damage from battle damage, from one attack, you can activate this effect both players have to remove all monsters in their deck and graveyard from play. So you're forced to play with just the monsters in your hand. If your opponent doesn't have anything in their hand, they have no monsters. All they're playing in their deck now is spells and traps. And on top of that, it fuels so many banished cards for DD Dynamite, which will burn your opponent for 300 for every banished card they have. Playing this and resolving the Inferno Tempest loop against something like 60 card Light Swarm is just so fun. Any deck that has a lot of monsters, so Blue Eyes has a lot of monsters. This doesn't work very well against things like Altergeist because they're mainly traps, and Paleo because they're like all traps. But the deck is really, really fun, and it's not competitive. You're not going to go to your locals and top and then go, right, I'm going to a YCS and top. But it is a fun deck. You can play with your friends. It's fairly cheap. I think the only card in here that is actually of value is Gren Maju itself. I think is like £4, as well as Inferno Tempest are really hard to get hold of. Everything else is super cheap. I think Grinder Golem's like £3. I don't think anything in this deck is worth more than a £5, other than maybe the Gren Manjus. But that's been it for me, guys. This has been a Gren Maju and Eiza deck. It's a really fun deck. You should probably build it. Play it on Yugioh Pro. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and peace.